my channel. If you don't already know me, my name is Michelle and I make videos to help you get ready for your Year 1 exam. So today I'm going to be making a verbal reasoning video on the easiest part of verbal reasoning, alphabet sequences. And alphabet sequences are pretty easy, so you're just going to get used to it today and answer a few questions with me. So let's get straight into it. Be answering 5 verbal reasoning alphabet sequencing questions, and in the description below there is a link to 10 verbal reasoning questions with answers so that you can get better at it. So let's get into it. What I'm going to do is to show you how to do the alphabet sequencing, and it's pretty easy. So there is going to be 2 pairs. There's going to be a pair of letters or 3 letters, and you're going to go from the first letter of the pair to the second to the first letter of the second pair, and then you'll go to your alphabet. There's always going to be something here to help you understand what's going on. And then if you go from the first one here to the first one here, you see on the alphabet sequencing line how much spaces there is in between, and we all know there's 1, so then check again, is there 1, is there 1, and then it will ask you to answer again, and then you do the answer here, and you do the same for the bottom letters below. Our first question which is pretty easy, so it's very easy, so let's just do this. So x to y, as we can see here, if we go on our number line, x to y is add 1, we're going to add 1, and then y to z is add 1 too, and then z to a is add 1 too. So then we're going to add 1 to a, which would be b, first part, and then y to z would be add 1, and then z to a would be add 1 again, and then a to b would be add 1. So then you do b, add 1, which would be c. So then our answer here would be b, c. Pretty easy. Question 2 is another pretty easy question. So a to b would be add 1, b to c would be add 1, and c to d would be add 1. So then d add 1, which would be e. Then now let's do the bottom. C to E would be add 1, 2, adding 2. E to G would be 1, 2, adding 2. And G to I would be add 2. Now, many people find this a little bit confusing at first because the top number that you're adding and the bottom number that you're adding is different. But when that happens, it's totally fine because that's how it's supposed to be. That they don't have to be the same numbers because it can be going up, it can be going down. But as long as the top numbers are the same, then you're fine. So then we do I add 2, which would be K, and the answer would be E, K. Is slightly harder, but not too hard. So A to B, we all know would be add 1, B to C would be add 1, and C to D would be add 1. So then you do D add 1 over here on the number line, it would be E. Now the bottom part is the much more harder part. So F to H, as we can see on the number line, would be 1, 2, we're adding 2. Then H to K would be 1, 2, 3, add 3. And then K to O would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is not even that much more harder, but you can see that the numbers are going up by 1. So then the next thing that we would be doing is adding 5. So O add 5 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we get T. So answer would be ET. 4 is a slightly longer one, but just because it's longer does not make it harder. So it's still going to be a little bit easy. So A to Z, we're going to be minusing 1. We're minusing 1. Minus 1. Z to Y would be minus 1. Then Y to X would be minus 1. X to W would be minus 1. And W to V would be minus 1. Then Y to X would be minus 1. X to W would be minus 1. And W to V would be minus 1. V to U would be minus 1, and U to T would be minus 1. So then all we need to do is minus 1 from each. So V minus 1 at the top here would be U, and then T minus 1 would be S. So US. Now, just because it's much more longer does not make it initially harder, because in the Year 1 sometimes they will give you long sequences, but the long sequences are actually supposed to be easy and they're not supposed to make it hard for you because they're long, so it takes up much more of your time. This question and this sequence comes up a lot in the 11 plus, and most people find it really hard because it is a little bit confusing. But when you think about it carefully, it's actually really easy. So let's do this. So y to a would be we're adding 2. Then a to z, we would be minusing 1. Then z to b would be minusing 2. And then b to a would be, adding 2. And then b to a will be minusing 1. So then this is kind of a repetitive sequence, but like it's like when you have 1 2 1 1 2 1. So basically it's switching. So now that we've done plus 2 minus 1 plus 2 minus 1, then you get another plus 2. So then you do a plus 2, which would be what? Which would be c. So then now let's do the bottom part. A to z, which would be minus 1. Z to b would be add 2, b to a would be minus 1, and a to c would be add 2. And then if we look at it again, you got minus 1, add 2, minus 1, add 2. Then you get minus 1, c minus 1 would be b. So then our answer would be c, b. So I hope that this helped you understand these alphabet sequences a lot more, because these are really easy, but they can catch people off guard if you don't focus on them very carefully, because you can count these numbers incorrectly on the line, and that can cost you 2 marks or a mark. But in the 11 plus, they always have the alphabet laid out for you, and it makes it much more easier, so you don't have to write anything. So don't worry about that. Thank you guys for watching my video, and if there's something that you don't understand, please write that down in the comment section below and I will answer your questions. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share to anyone that you think would find this video helpful. See you in my next video, and bye!